Roshni, and I'm the founder of O Womania. And O Womania is by far the first brand in India which is a feminist fashion and a women empowerment brand. And we take O Womania as an opportunity to meet more and more women and share their stories out in the open. We're meeting Shweta. She's a woman leader and she's a phenomenal woman. I've known her for some time now. And so we're here to know more and more about her achievements, her challenges, and we want to inspire more and more women out there. So share more about you.
Yeah, I mean, thanks first of all for the opportunity. I think it's a great platform that you guys are creating. Wish you all the best. So where do you want to get me started? What do you want me to talk about?
So I think we would really want to know about your life, you as a person. What's your drive to be where you are and your achievements?
Sure. So yeah, I'm like any other woman, any other girl out there who just dreams big, and that's been right from the childhood. I think the one big drive or one guiding principle that lives with us all the time is what our upbringing is. You should never forget where you come from, who your parents are, who your family is, because that's what makes the real you. All right. I come from a very humble middle class family. We were 3 siblings. My father was into a business, and we had our own shares of ups and downs. And I think the only thing that drove me at that point in time was, to get educated, believe in ourselves, dream big, and work hard to achieve them. I think you were discussing earlier as to what kind of childhood we've had. We've had a very fulfilling childhood. Because of parents who really believed in us. We had our ups and downs, but they would never compromise on education. I think that's really powerful for us to have grown up in a family where the power of education, the belief in education, the belief that is how parents really empower you, whether you're a girl or a boy, equipping you for the world yet to come. So there would have been compromises in probably clothing. We may not have had the best of sort of outings, or not had the best of, let's say, shelter. Okay, there were times when we've shared a rented apartment or a rented veranda where there were other tenants staying, in the same space. But I think what was really heartening, and I think that is something that stayed with all of us 3 siblings, is never lose sight of where you can be. Never lose sight of your dreams, and work hard. And when it comes to making choices, Roshni, it's very critical that you have your priorities right. So for me, my parents' education was the first priority. That was non-negotiable, and I think that made them give their best in that particular dimension. And I guess thanks to them, and thanks to that and their belief, we've all come this far.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. I think for every empowered woman, education plays a very important role to be, where we are, right? What's very beautiful to know about your family is that they saw you more as an individual than a girl. A lot of families, they save money for marriage for the girl child versus education. So it's very beautiful to know that they focused on you as a child first, and then the other things.
Yeah, I think I'm really blessed to have been born to a family like that, and that's where I feel the power of woman in shaping the family and the future of it is absolutely critical. I think we all owe it to our mom, my mother. Came from a really humble background. She wanted to be a doctor, but she got married at 18 because she was the eldest of the 4 girl children that my nanny had. And and she was really bright kid. Whenever we go back to our nanny's house, we make it a point to go to mama's school, and you see what a bright kid she was. So I guess that stayed with her, and I think the power of education, the power of living her dreams through her own children. I think that is what drove her, and that in turn drove us. And yes, we were never given any spiel around beti, paraya dhan, and shadi. In fact, we never grew up even discussing anyone's shadi or going to some paraya ghar and adjusting and all of that. I think those discussions really just came about after one got married and heard them through other families. And I'm really thankful to that. So, I think, if ever I were to be born again, I would want to be born to this, woman with so much substance in her, with so much of dreams and aspirations in her, who always dreamt big and drove us to dream big. She was, one of those tiger moms. I still remember if I didn't win that first prize for a competition, she would not let me take it easy. She would just ask me to go self-reflect and see where I could have done better. That really sort of, set the tone for who I was going to be. I think I was, just like, I could have been like any other girl. I could have ended up like any other woman out there, and many of us who are extremely talented, but give up somewhere along the way because the willpower or their upbringing or their whole conditioning has been not so strong and very superficial.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. So like you mentioned about your mom being a powerful woman and shaping the next generation to be like her, where do you see your power as a woman?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you think being a woman in the corporate world or even in the household affairs or as a mother, where do you see the contribution as a lady?
I think it's extremely important to understand that when you talk of any corporate or when you talk of family or when you talk of even motherhood, I would say parenthood. Look at it as a decision or a choice which is devoid of your being a male or a female. Like I said, that my upbringing has been devoid of these comparisons. We had an absolute equality in everything. I have a younger brother. In most households, a younger brother who's had two sisters would probably be getting a lot of preference or special treatment. We never had that, so we never had those discussions. And therefore, the kind of choices you make or the way you carry yourself, also whether it's at corporate, at work, Roshni, or at home, it's absolutely devoid of the male versus female, consideration. I think I do what I do because I think I am good at my work, and I bring to table, a lot of experience, a lot of flair, a lot of passion. All right, and it would have not been any different had I been a man. And similarly, I think when I'm a mother, I see myself as a parent first, and therefore whether it's a motherly instinct or a fatherly instinct, so whether it's about mothering them, giving them my love, or about caring or investing for their future, I don't see us making differential choices that it's my department to only do this, or it's your department to only probably invest in let's say an insurance or a child insurance. We don't operate like that, and that's what makes it a level playing field. I think that is really you have to get out that whole, stop taking yourself seriously as just being a gender. That is just one of the dimensions that defines you. That's just who you are. But apart from that, there is absolutely nothing else. Okay, so here's what my teeny weeny bit. Here's my 2 cents on this whole gender bias. I think you will get what you expect. I really believe in the theory of expectancy. If you expect that you will be dumped down, or you will be forced, or you will be sort of made to give in because you're a woman, then in 9 out of 10 cases that's what's going to happen to you. So my advice would be to stop taking or thinking of yourself as a woman or a man. Instead, look at yourself as a person. What is it that drives you? and then set those expectations for you. And trust me, the next time you're looking at yourself with that perspective, you won't even expect that the other person is discriminating against you because of your gender, etc., because that will not be playing on your mind. Yeah.
So it's basically what we attract. So hearing from you, we already we know that you have a life partner who's very similar to you, because if you're leading a life like that, your partner needs to be at the same level of thinking and also action.
Yeah.
Right. So would you like to share something about your life partner and your life after marriage as a person?
Sure.
I wouldn't say as a woman anymore.
Yeah, sure. So we've been married for now 14 years. I've known my husband for almost 16 years. And there is never any dull moment in our lives, because again, we take each other as a complete person. He's just another guy who was who got married also, and with it came all of the responsibilities. I know a lot is written about women who get married and now they are who used to not pick up a glass of water, and now there is a whole host of responsibilities and so on. But just try to detach yourself from that womanhood cliche and think of it from a man's angle, who was just another boy who never picked up, let's say, a glass of water. And now he's responsible for the upkeep of the family, for running the finances, for taking care of the new family, buying a new house, meeting up to the aspirations of the new life that they are in. How does he or she cope with it at the end of it? So it's very, very important for couples to appreciate that you are marrying an individual who's exactly the same as you, facing the same challenges as you in his career, in his personal life. He's also undergone a life stage change, and you're not the only one who has to keep crying foul and say, my world has changed and my dad was so and so and I'm not getting. So just get yourself out of the shackles, woman. You want to be treated as a woman. Stop behaving like a girl. Okay, start acknowledging that this is a life stage change for the two of you. You want equal partnership, you have to give equal partnership. You have to understand the person you've married is another person going through exactly the same sort of So yes, so my partner is actually very different from who I am. Talks less. He talks very little, very stable, very calm, very cool. But I think the amount of support that I've got from him over the years is phenomenal. I don't think I have ever been judged on the choices that I've made, whether it's with regard to motherhood or whether it's regard to my career, and with regard to my career choices, or what is the kind of support system I want to build around taking care of my kids as well as my career. It's always been a mutual decision, and more often than not it's always been him supporting the decisions I have made and so on. And like I said, trust, mutual, it's all mutual. So you trust your partner and you'll get tremendous amount of trust back into your system. So yeah, I've got a great partner, and I'm really I can say with conviction that his is the best partnership that I could ever think of, and he's the backbone of the career that I've built over the last few years, and how beautifully we manage our home and work and all the travel and our extended families and our parents, and manage to keep all of them happy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's again applause worthy that the two of you all are actually truly in an equal marriage, because I think most of the youngsters aspire and dream of marriages like that. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of girls who wait to find men who want to support, who can be the backbone. Mm-hmm. While a lot of men still are looking for girls who can cook food. Yeah. So yes. So the point here is that the more we aspire to have the perspective of being beyond genders, because at the end of the day, gender becomes a restriction and not an empowering aspect of life. So while we are educating our girls, we also need to sensitize and educate men of being whole partners than just being half, right? So I think it's a great story to know, and so we would also want to know how is it that you guys have built this ecosystem of managing your not only your work profiles, which is at really high levels, but also your children, and how can you actually do this, and how have you done this in your life so far? Because I think even I would want to learn that.
Sure. So, Roshni, it's a very pertinent question, and like I said, Rome wasn't built overnight. I think the important thing for any, youngster out there, let's say me 14, 15 years back, all I'd like to say is that keep your expectations very real. It takes time to build that kind of trust and partnership. Stay invested, stay put. The first few years are not going to be easy because there's a lifestyle change, like I said. And just as women have grown up believing or made to believe that here will come a man who will take care of them, and who will take care of everything, exactly the way the parents have. The men have also been conditioned to believe through their growing up years that here will come a woman who will cook as well as the mother, and so on and so forth. It takes time to realize that it's not going to be. You're not marrying a woman who's going to cook as good as your mother did, or even cook at all, or a man who's going to be as equipped as your dad is. Please remember, your dad has built that empire over a period of several decades, of which you were not a part of in the initial years when your mom was probably struggling with your dad. So I would only say that it takes time to build that kind of trust and partnership. And to all the women out there, I would only like to say that stop judging the other person, and try to put yourself in their shoes. And I would say this to the men as well. You're not marrying your mom, you're not marrying your dad, so stop having those expectations. You're marrying a real person who was born several generations after your parents. So the expectations are very, very different. She may not know how to cook, but you can together learn how to make the best of cuisines together. It just takes a lot of effort. It just takes a lot of understanding to know what this person really likes. I did not know how to cook at all, but I learned how to make my husband aloo ka parathas, which he really loves. And I used to pamper him with those when he used to come back from late night flights, even at 1 a.m. in the night or 2 a.m. in the night. I've done that for him. On the other hand, he's worked on some of my presentations when I used to be really tired after work, and I used to teach at business schools over the weekends. So it just sort of, it takes a lot of love, a lot of mutual understanding, and also stop taking yourself so seriously. What if you didn't know how to cook? You can do that, all right? No job is menial enough. If it means so much to someone, and if you really love that person, you can go out there and learn it. My husband makes brilliant fish for me today. Okay, he did not know, of it, or he did not even eat fish perhaps as much as we did in our households. So it takes a bit of time, but love doesn't come with preconditions that you're going to only love a person if they know how to cook. You're only going to love a person if they earn X amount of salary. If you have those preconditions, love will not, sort of be easy. All right. So I would just say one thing: put yourself in any relationship, give unconditional love, and that's when you start getting back unconditional love. And that goes true for your careers, that goes true for your spouse, that goes true for your kids as well. When you become a mother, first of all, don't just jump into motherhood. It's not going to be a cakewalk, especially if you are going to be managing your careers, your families, your extended families. It is not going to be a cakewalk. Become a mother when you're ready. I know there will be pressures, there will be so-called advisors in your families and friends who will probably tell you that your clock is ticking. Forget about all of that. Okay, just look at, there's so many women out there who are becoming mums in their 40s. It's all right. It's absolutely all right. It's important to be ready, and then be ready to give unconditional love. where you're not expecting the child to thank you every day. My advice to everybody out there, all the young men and women out there, is believe in yourself and believe that good things will happen to you. Because only when you believe that, you will start aspiring to achieve those things. Okay, be positive and stay put. I think that is one mantra that I really want to leave you with. Stay put. If you believe in yourself, if you believe that good things are going to happen, just keep working towards it and you will arrive.